Before we get into today's video, I just want to thank CalJB4 for the PS5 gameplay of Miles Morales Spider-Man in a sweet, crisp 60 frames per second. You can check out his Instagram here or in the link below, or just search it on Instagram, you lazy fuck. And if you're interested, you can check his now defunct YouTube channel where he just cries about Ubisoft. Anyways, thank you CalJB4 and make sure you check out his socials below. And now into the video.
Off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Damn, I really wish I had a PS4 to play this game. I would love to have the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Do it for the vine.
I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for the vine.
I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for the vine.
I ain't gonna do it. I did it.
This is where we come from, yeah we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like
Spider-Man Miles Morales is beautiful, emotional, artistic, and fantastic. 2 years ago, Insomniac gave us what we believe to be the greatest piece of Spider-Man media. A beautiful, heartfelt story that truly understood who Spider-Man was. Well, let me be the one to tell you, these sons of bitches did it again. This time with another Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Ever since Spider-Verse dropped, the love for Miles Morales has been on another level. There are plenty of reasons people love Miles as a character, and while Peter Parker is and remains the biggest Spider-Man character of all time, Miles Morales isn't far off at this point. See, unless you were the few who constantly read comics and kept up with Spider-Man characters, you would probably only know Peter Parker and not the other Spider people behind the screens. Spider-Verse introduced a lot of people to new Spider characters, whether it was Miles, Gwen, or Spider-Ham. These characters had their unique take on the character of Spider-Man as a whole, and today we'll be looking at the Miles version of Spider-Man. Now, what is the first thing you would do if you had spider powers in a world where Spider-Man already exists? You would of course become the web slinger himself. This is exactly how Miles' story starts off. Right from the bat when we see him don his first suit, it's another version of Peter's suit. Miles isn't trying to be his own Spider-Man, he's trying to be like the current Spider-Man. Now, we could just have Miles start off like the original game and have him already be his own Spider-Man, donning his black outfit and going to take down some massive boss. But we don't. We start with Miles on the ground, interacting with his people, helping them, smiling at them. Miles isn't just a hero for his community, he is part of the community.
That guy? He's our Spider-Man.
And then we see Miles with a similar choice to Peter in the beginning of his game, rent or Fisk, or in this sense it would be the convoy or groceries. The thing with being Spider-Man is you constantly have to sacrifice yourself for other people. Whether that's your life, your rent, or your groceries, it all has the same impact. Miles starts off struggling, he screws up, he causes the release of the prisoners and the Rhino. He struggles to be that hero, and that's such a beautiful direction to take your story in. While Miles is physically already Spider-Man, mentally, he isn't, and that's what the story is about, his growth.
Pete, does this job ever get easier?
Some of it, yeah. Some things never get easier, though.
Not becoming the Spider-Man, but becoming his Spider-Man. Like Pete after losing his uncle, Miles causes a disaster on a bridge, and this is the turning point for him. The point where he begins to grow and become his own Spider-Man. I truly think Insomniac have perfected Miles' story. No, he isn't just Peter Parker with dark skin. He's a beautifully crafted, unique character of his own. And there's nothing wrong with that. To quote Hassan Hamid from our old Spider-Man video,
"What makes you different is what makes you Spider-Man."
Now, looking at all the other characters, I can safely say they are absolutely fantastic. It's nice to see Uncle Aaron in a different light, rather than him just being evil from the start. We see him support Miles, but also worry for him.
Krieger and the Tinkerer kill each other. Go back to being Spider-Man when the heat dies down.
And what? Just hide down here? I don't get to pick and choose when I'm Spider-Man. I gotta stop Finn.
No, you gotta survive. I've been trying to teach you that, but you don't listen.
Although we as Miles hate having Uncle Aaron rat us out or stop us from doing certain tasks, we can't help but see why he does this. He loves Miles and he doesn't want to lose him like he lost his brother. Rio Morales, Ganke, and even small characters like Haley all have these beautiful aspects to them, and they all have a big impact on Miles' life as a whole. And while we're on the subject of characters, I can't ignore the antagonists of the story.
Yeah. Oh, you like that, wouldn't
Hey
you?
yo, what the fuck?
Now, Topher Grace Simon Krieger I have no issues with. I love his attitude and the way he behaves is just, I just love it, alright? I just love it. His character is the perfect antagonist. Unlike Doc Ock, Simon has no villainy powers and he isn't really a big threat to the entirety of New York. Oh wait, didn't he... Just shut up, listen, okay, listen. But he is a big threat to Harlem. Unlike Peter, Miles isn't set with saving the entirety of New York, he is set with saving his community. And it's perfect. It's perfect to have Miles start off with this small storyline and build his character up. It's what makes this game so great. Now, I can't avoid talking about Finn. Finn has a very big impact in this story, but honestly, she's quite boring. I feel like the plot twist was so noticeable from the beginning, and even when finding out the impact wasn't as well done as we expected. I know like a ton of YouTubers have mentioned the dining scene, and I can honestly see their point. When Finn's brother Rick is mentioned, you can see her go quiet for a few seconds, and it was just so obvious that she's going to have a big impact on this storyline. The impact wasn't as well done as we expected, and I do feel like this story doesn't really matter much with Finn, but considering the phenomenal ending, oh, you know what, I'm just really mixed on it as a whole, okay? I don't know, she's a good character, but she's a cliche character, right? Overall though, it has a fantastic story, and you know what they say, with great storytelling comes... So, of course the PS5 version of Miles Morales has a lot more improved gameplay and graphical features than the PS4 does. Like hell it does.
Ray trace before you get a whooping.
My friend here, Justin.
Like a lot of others, I assumed the gameplay wouldn't change for the most part. The same swinging and trick mechanics, as well as the same beat 'em up crime activities. However, the minute the game transitioned from the cutscene to Miles swinging, I was instantly greeted with this beautiful, smooth swinging, these amazing swinging tricks, and I was blown away. The swinging in this game tops the first one by miles. You see what I did there? Unlike the previous game where Peter swings more gracefully, Miles is all over the place, legs and hands in the air, constantly falling, and even in moments of combat you can see him struggle. No matter what Miles does, he's always very flimsy and all over the place. Is that bad? Of course not. It adds a deeper layer to Miles' story and Miles' character as a whole in this game. And whoever decided to make the music in this game sound like this, deserves a raise. I also think Jaden Smith is probably chuffed having his music in the game. As well as the swinging and the music, the combat has seen its fair share of improvements. Miles now has a wide array of moves, and his venom and camouflage bring a whole new experience to the combat. Unfortunately, unlike the first game, the quips just aren't as clever, and certain aspects of the crime activities are not as interesting as the first game. However, this could probably be attributed to the fact that Miles is still an inexperienced Spider-Man, so aspects of him being Spider-Man are not going to be as good as Peter Parker. With amazing pros like this, you best believe there are cons. Or, well... After everything I just said, you might be wondering what could possibly be wrong with this masterpiece. Well, have you ever heard the phrase, all good things must come to an end. Yeah, so does this, but too damn soon. If you paid £50 for the previous Spider-Man game, then I don't blame you. It's got a big story and a lot of activities that are worthwhile. I, on the other hand, got it for £35 from someone at my high school and never sold it since. However, this Miles game has a small 10 full hours of gameplay and content. You can finish this game in a whole night. Now I'll say this again, this game is absolutely fantastic, but is it worth the price tag on it? No. It isn't. But hey, I shouldn't care, I got it for free. Thank you, Drifty.